All right, let's scrub back a few seconds. He thinks what? What does he think? TJ?
He thinks he can go back and play quarterback at a college program and take him to a national championship.
Okay, like a Power 5, like TJ Watt thinks he could play quarterback if he can go back into college and lead a team to a national championship. That's what he thinks.
Yeah.
He has said those words out of his mouth, and it goes in your ear, another human being. Like that's actually happened, is what you're saying.
Yeah, first of all, it started off at high school. He could go to any Texas program and take the worst team and take them to their high school championship. We were like, TJ. And then he went to college and we were like, TJ, now you're gassing it up. So, it's pretty wild.
Cam Hayward on the Rich Eisen show. All right, let's run it by everybody here. Roundtable Tuesday. Arthur Moats. Which one's crazier? He goes back and he plays quarterback for an Alabama or an Oklahoma and they win a national championship, or he goes and takes the worst high school program in Texas and wins, a state championship there.
Let's
Chris.
let Arthur. Oh, you want me to have first drafts here? I mean, it's obviously more ridiculous that he does it at the college level. Better athletes across the board, more complicated schemes. Like if he goes to the lowest classification of Texas high school ball,
I disagree with you.
He's
right off the bat.
stomping a mud hole in people.
But I disagree.
Here's what makes this ridiculous. I distinctly remember reading like a big feature piece, I want to say in The Athletic, about him that said the entire moment where his career went from possibly washing out in college and never really making anything of himself to flipping the switch was when they moved him from tight end to linebacker. Why? Because when he had to go backwards to block people in college, his knees basically gave out every time. So you're going to tell me TJ Watt is going to go play quarterback, dropping back and setting, something that literally his knees apparently don't do.
More realistic.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
because of the thing we talked about with you playing quarterback against Alabama. If he is playing for Alabama or whatever program you view as far and away the best, their defense is still, if it's Alabama's, it's still going to be all world. If he's playing for Georgia,
how many Division I players are on Alabama's roster? If he's playing for Georgia and he goes up against Alabama, every one of those players is a scholarship Division I player.
Yes.
Scholarship. A lot of 5-stars. I can't believe we're talking about this. If TJ Watt goes to a high school program in Texas, even a good one, how many of those kids
he's
are
only playing quarterback
players?
though? So think about this. If he's on the worst high school football team, let's say
is a grown man.
All right,
though.
let's say they score every time he has the ball. Let's say they score every time he's at quarterback. How does the worst high school football team in Texas stop the best high school football teams in Texas?
But it's a shootout. How many times
That's what I mean.
Shootouts?
That's what I mean. It's down to the wire. Who has the ball the last every time?
I would like to err on the side of the grown man versus some 16, 17, 18-year-olds personally. There's
some kids who hit puberty 6 months prior who are maybe playing up as freshmen on that on the other team. And TJ Watt is 6'4". What is he, Arthur? 250? 255, 260, running about a 4.7?
There's not a lot of that just out there like that. Yeah.
And he's mean and he's pissed because he's a grown man who for some reason has been challenged to do this at the high school level because he said he could. TJ Watt's going to score 15 touchdowns every game for that team. They're going to score 100 points, and no one's going to beat them. Come on, man.
Who's the worst 6A team in the WPIAL? Like, who is the worst?
I think Baldwin.
Okay, if Baldwin,
if I'm impugning Baldwin, I'm sorry.
If Baldwin plays Mount Lebo right now, and TJ Watt is on Baldwin, he is single-handedly. He doesn't even have to throw the ball. He's just taking a direct snap and running, and it's almost impossible for him to get tackled, and he's probably scoring almost every time, right?
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you Baldwin's never stopping Mount Lebo. The score backs that up. The scores in those games are like 66-0, Chris. So it's right down to the wire. I mean, it is literally who has the ball last. They might win a state championship, but they would have to have the ball last in every game.
I'm biased on this one because one of Alex's relatives is one of the best players on Mount Lebanon. So you've picked two and my father-in-law lives in Baldwin.
Okay.
So you've picked two horrible schools
it's
here.
It's Baldwin's defense against Bob Pelko's offense. They are going down and scoring a touchdown every time, just like Watt is probably scoring a touchdown on his defense every time.
So you're saying basically
he's good then.
So what is the greater chance here? That Mount Lebanon stops TJ Watt ever, or that just by pride, Baldwin rises up for one series and stops
All they
Mount
need is
Lebanon.
Because Watt is on the
One
sideline.
time.
Yeah, because
All they
TJ's waving
need
a
is
terrible
one
towel. They're inspired by TJ's performance.
They're going to play Renegade, and after that, they're going to get that stop.
And Mount
baby.
Lebanon's going to
Well,
go for 45 yards.
Let me ask you guys this question seriously. If Georgia's quarterback is TJ Watt,
Yeah.
what do you think their record is this year?
I don't like him in college.
I'm just asking.
That's
we-
different.
No one scores on him, Chris.
I understand that, but does TJ Watt, did they let him throw the ball?
Hines Ward was their quarterback,
Oh,
and he just
come
ran.
on.
No,
This is
stop it.
offensive,
That's still
dude.
To who?
different.
It's a
Yes.
it's another
Hines
slight.
was a quarterback
it is
at that
another
time. He
slight
played
to Hines
quarterback.
Ward in a career full of them. That's like saying Antoine Randall. You're saying,
Yeah.
well, Antoine Randall. Yeah, go watch the highlights. He kicked ass in college.
He was a quarterback.
I didn't say
kid,
Antoine
yes.
Randall because I loved watching Antoine
so
Randall
really,
in
this was
college.
just an excuse for you to tweak Hines Ward. How many years after
You do
his
that all the
retirement?
time.
Me?
Yes.
Oh no, big Hines.
You said
Ward.
Anquan Bolden was better than him with no hesitation.
Yeah, he was.
There you go. Exactly.
I just hear the air come out of the room.
Georgia's defense has given up no more than 13 points all year. And if TJ Watt as a fan on the sideline is galvanizing Baldwin's defense, you're telling me he can't do a little bit more of that for Georgia's top defense?
If TJ Watt went back and played for Georgia right now, he might not even be the best player on the team. Who's that defensive tackle who's like 6'7", 340 and
If
runs
Watt-
like a deer?
if Watt-
I'm kidding,
man.
Arthur. I'm just trying to get you fired up.
If Watt
I was like, what are we doing?
If Watt at Georgia could get the snap from the quarterback and hand it to the
He would
running back,
legit hurt
they're still
somebody,
undefeated.
man, if he was coming off the edge.
They're still undefeated.
No, you think if he's at quarterback?
Yes.
I don't see that, man.
All
I don't
they
see
have
that.
to do, only South Carolina and Kentucky are the only two teams to score more than 13 points against them this year.
They're going to score how many points with TJ playing quarterback? Georgia will.
All they need to do is
And
get to.
if he's
all they
putting
need
the
to do is
ball
get
in the
to
air at
3
any
in some
point,
games.
you risk you risk a turnover.
Is
If
he
he's throwing
going to put the
you're
ball in
risking
the air?
turnovers.
No, probably not.
So you're going to only run the ball. Teams know that he is handing
Come
the ball
on
off.
now. Exactly. It's gonna look like
this
Denver.
is-
What was the quarterback that he played? I'm drawing a
He was-
blank on his
Craig,
name
do you
a
think
year
I'm
ago.
nuts
He was
here?
no, I know who you're talking about.
What's
Arthur. He
Georgia's
was
record
actually a
with
college
TJ Watt at
quarterback, and he couldn't do it.
Exactly.
Tell me who they lose to.
They're still undefeated.
Thank you.
Do they
Voice
play-
the reason.
And
Who
you
do they
know-
lose to? Tell me.
And do
UAB?
you know what happens when Georgia plays Alabama with TJ Watt at quarterback?
Right.
They haven't played Alabama yet, Chris.
Oh, so you are existing and living on an unbelievable
I
technicality.
asked you, what do you think
Do
their
you
record
hear
is
this
right
nonsense? Do you hear this?
now? They're still undefeated. They're still
And
undefeated.
then what happens?
Tell me,
Fine. What
have you
happens when
ever
they
seen
play
TJ
Alabama?
throw the ball?
What happens when they
Like,
play Bama?
You
Tony?
have. What's it look like, Bad? Is
It's
it worse
not
than
good enough
Boswell?
to be a starting quarterback in the SEC.
Is it worse than Boz?
He's not good enough to be a starting quarterback in
Thank
the
you.
SEC.
We got
like
a
we're talking about
tremendous
Georgia
tweet.
here.
Go ahead.
Jason in Slippery Rock. Your thought exercise depends on how many times TJ Watt taps out and they have to bring in a 15-year-old backup who weighs 150 pounds.
That's against you guys. That's against you two guys, not me. You're the ones arguing the high school point.
Wow.
You better like Baldwin's backup quarterback.
Wow.
That hurts.